Good morning. We have our coffee here. We're ready to have our conversation, and I'm so excited to be talking with you. So happy Wednesday. I hope your week is going great so far. We are talking today all about, are you taking the wrong approach to weight loss, to your health goals? And we'll dive into that in just 1 minute. So if you're watching with us live, please comment Team Live. If you're watching with us replay, please comment Team Replay. I want to know, what's the weather like where you're at? Is it sunny? Is it nice out? Is it a day where you're like, I need to get outside? Or is it a day where you're like, it's so cold, the weather is bad, I need to stay inside, I cannot go anywhere? So let me know down in the comments below. It is beautiful. We're watching my cousin's dog this week, so hopefully we'll be able to take her on a walk later. I'm gonna bring her out too before we start our calls this morning as well, but she's being really good. She's laying underneath the table right now. So we're talking today, are you taking the wrong approach to your weight loss, to your health goals, whatever it is? So in the 5 years that I have been doing this, I started Nourish with Emily at the end of 2018. Hey, Ashley. Hey, Amy. I started this at the end of 2018. We have worked with so many women, hundreds of women over the past 5 years, where we've seen really good approaches and things that we kind of put our support behind and help you do, as well as approaches that can set you up for failure in the long run. So we're going to be diving into that today. The first one that really sets us up for failure is being too strict with ourselves, which is the most common piece or the most common approach that people take that set them up for failure. So think about it this way. If you're like, all right, everything needs to be perfect. I'm throwing out all of the candy in the fridge and or candy in the cupboard and all of the snacks in the pantry. I cannot eat it. I cannot do it. I cannot have it at all. It only makes you want it more. It only makes you fixate on it. It only makes you say, oh man, that would taste really good right now. I really wish I had some. Or it might draw you to then go to the store or the gas station and pick some of it up. I was talking with a client yesterday. She was saying how she thought that she could cut out soda completely, all of like the diet soda and everything. And I was like, we could just bring it down to 1 a day. She found that she was almost fixating on it. So she was then driving to the corner store multiple times a day, getting a couple of her Pepsis or getting a couple of her the sodas and then drinking them throughout the day. And she was like, this is not what I want to do. Our goal was 1. I thought I could do 0. We're being too strict with ourselves or setting ourselves up for failure. We need to know and have that level focus of like, it's not going to be perfect every single day. It's not even needing to be perfect every single day. Even if you can take that approach of like 80% of my choices are in line, in focus with what I am looking for, it's going to be so much easier for us to build up that momentum and have a good relationship with food as well. Because if we're cutting out foods or if we're saying, I can't have this or this is bad, it's skewing our understanding of food and how we're relating it to everything. So if we're cutting things out or we're labeling things as good and bad, it's not helping us in the long run for that long-term success. It may be helpful for that first week to say, I can't have any of these awful foods, but it's not going to help you in the long run when you're like, man, I really do want a slice of my birthday cake or whatever it is. Number 2, and it goes right along with being strict, you're taking too many things away. So if you're saying, I'm going to cut out all carbs, the carbs are the bad thing, which is not. Carbs are not bad at all. It helps your brain and spinal cord function to the best of your ability so that you feel good, you're energized throughout the day. But if we are taking away too many things and we're left with, think of Whole30, all of those foods that are taken away, you're kind of left with feeling like, oh man, like A, this is boring because these aren't even foods that I like. B, what am I supposed to do with all of this stuff or the lack of all of this stuff? C, when can I just start eating normal again because I don't like this? So stop trying to take everything away. Stop trying to say like, I'm never going to have coffee again and I'm never going out to eat and we're only cooking from home and I'm only going to have fresh foods all the time. And start to give yourself grace and say, how can I just make sure that I'm making good choices for myself and my family, day in and day out, that we can have balance and that we can have this good approach to everything that we're doing. Number 3, too many guidelines. If you have a guideline for every little thing that you're doing, that you need to eat breakfast by 8 a.m. and you have to stop eating by 7 p.m. and that you have to eat the nuts first before every single meal, and you have to drink the olive oil and the apple cider vinegar as well. If you're having too many rules to follow, if you have too many goals on your plate, you're setting yourself up for failure. If you are saying, I need to follow all of these in order for me to be successful, I have to work out for an hour every day, I have to chug 3 gallons of water, I have to sleep for 10 hours, we're gonna run out of time. And you're also going to run out of sanity too. You're going to come out feeling like this sucks and I don't enjoy it and I can't do it in the long run. In order for you to be successful, and we tell our clients this all the time, what you do to lose the weight, what you do to change your health and nutrition has to be what you want to do for the rest of your life. It should not be something that you have to feel like you have to come back to every single time that you fail or you gain weight again or whatever it is. It should be, I can see myself eating in this pattern, eating in this routine for the rest of my life. We have to be able to say, I feel good with this, and not like, I'm going to do this for 30 days and see what happens. Because after those 30 days are up, you're going to go back to normal and you're not going to see any of the changes. The change and the progress is going to go away. You're going to have a hard time making everything stick. Number 5, constantly starting over. I feel like we are always waiting for the right time to be ready, and there is zero right time to be ready. I was talking with somebody yesterday and she's like, we're going to start this on Monday. I was like, why aren't you starting it today? It's Tuesday. She's like, well, we've got stuff going on this weekend. It's like, that's great, but you can still make some of the changes. You can still start moving more this week. You can still start saying, it's nice outside right now. I'm going to go out on a walk. You don't have to say, I'm going to start next week because it's April and then it'll be better. Because every time we say, I'm going to push it until then, I'm going to push it until then, we never get started. We're always waiting for that right time or the motivation to be really high, and motivation comes from within. I can't motivate you. I can teach you. I can coach you. I can give you all of the good vibes and the goals. But if you're like, this doesn't feel great, I don't want to do this, then it's not going to happen. We have to be excited about our goals, know that we can do our goals. Sorry, our dog that we're watching is getting up on top of the, she's getting up on top of the couch. Here you go. Smitty. But I can't give you motivation. So anytime where you're like, I need to make the change, I need to start, stop saying it's going to be tomorrow. Stop saying it's going to be next month. Stop saying I should be doing this. I have to be doing this, and say like, I am going to do that because it matters. You can find the time for exercise. If you can find the time to sit on the couch and scroll before you're making dinner, you can absolutely find the time to say, I'm just going to go outside and start walking. Just start going. I'm getting stressed just listening to all these shoulds and have tos. Yeah. Well, you don't have to do anything, but you know that you're going to feel better. And it's putting yourself in that uncomfortable situation and saying, how can I set myself up for success? Rather than saying like, oh, I would do that. Yeah, that sounds great, but I just don't feel like it right now, or it's not resonating with me, which is so tough, guys. It's so stinking tough. But if we say, if I can just start with one thing this week, if I can start with one change, how far can I just go with that one change for the next 3 weeks? If I only focus on my water intake, if I only focus on moving a little bit more, if I only focus on going to bed at a decent hour every night, just that one goal, rather than us having to say like, I have to do all of these things, which then contributes to I have to constantly start over because I'm losing track of all the things that I should be doing or that I have to be doing. Start with that one thing and focus on it and get really, really good at it to be able to make those changes. We have to take that step back and say like, oh, there's the perfect time at some point, like life's gonna slow down. Life never slows down. I hate the phrase where it's like Beyonce has 24 hours in a day. She also has a team of people to help her get stuff done. But it's saying pick one thing and just get really stinking good at it. Get really stinking good at it. And then go and say, okay, how can I add a little bit more to my plate? Rather than coming in and saying, I'm doing all of these things, you're going to have to, it's that all or nothing mindset. It's having to start over all the time. It's being too strict with yourself and taking stuff away and saying, what can I add to my life and how can I just get started? If it's, I'm going to eat breakfast every morning, I'm going to drink water before my coffee, I'm going to go and take the dog on a walk. Whatever it is, just start with that one thing and don't put it off. There's never a right time. The best time was yesterday. The second best time is right now. You putting it off tomorrow, you are not going to wake up and have more motivation to do something. Absolutely not. The other thing too, one last thing to think of, if you start by making change by asking your friends what they're doing or, how have you found success? Unless they're saying, I've been working with Nourish with Emily and it's been fab. Your friend could be going and saying like, I need a sports car. I'm going to buy a sports car, but they live a completely different lifestyle for you. And you could say, you know what? I want a sports car too, but maybe you have 3 kids and a sports car might be a 2-seater. Yeah, the sports car was great for your friend taking her from here to wherever, but it's not going to get you and your family to where it needs to go. So why are we saying I want to do and have exactly what they're doing when that probably isn't going to be the best thing for us. So remember, are you asking for a sports car when you're like, I need an SUV, I need the utility vehicle, I need something that's going to work for me and my goals, rather than trying to say, I'm just going to grab what everybody else is doing. So think about all this, guys. Are you taking the wrong approach? Are you saying that I need to start over all the time? I'm being too strict. I have this all or nothing. It's just too many things I'm taking away. I have no way. I wanted to start next week. We have to snap out of it sometimes, take that step back and say, okay, what am I doing? How am I taking care of me? How can I just get started? As a reminder, starting April 10th, that week, we have the Balance program going on. When you join the Balance program this week, you get the April Masterclass Weight Loss Jumpstart for absolutely free. All of our one-on-one clients get all of our programs and our masterclasses included. If you want to join the Balance program, you're going to be getting the masterclass in April absolutely free. So you're going to get both for $200 rather than $250 if you're going to buy them both separately. I will drop that link down in the comments below. If this live resonated with you, give me a thumbs up, give me a heart down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. I gotta go take Smitty out because she looks like she's about to bark off the window. But have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next week.